I thought I had a real church right there, because I thought I had somebody who could really witness that I did do some stuff, but everything they said I didn't do, but I did do some stuff. And so in verse 17, he says, their heart is as fat as grease. Y'all know about grease, right? Told them that early morning worship that I grew up on that blue, red, and white can. And you would get a whipping for throwing away grease, because grease was used to fry chicken, shrimp, fish, same grease. That's why the house always smelled the same. And we had the molasses, the yellow molasses jar. That's syrup for y'all don't know. And we would take the grease after we done used that molasses can, tin can, and put the grease in there. Now, when the grease was hot, it was in liquid form. But when it was cold, it was thick. And that's the way he's describing the heart of the proud. It is thick as grease. You can't get nothing through it because it's thick. And they're unwavering, and they're always out to get people. They always mean, never can see the good in nobody because it's thick. He said, but in spite of their thickness, I delight in your word. I'm not going to be evil because somebody else is evil. I'm going to do what's right because your words say do what's right. Because I know when I do what's right, I put a heap of coal of fire on somebody's head. Look at somebody and say, love them to death. Love them to death. Our last verse in verse 71. This is so critical that you get this. He says, it. Now, it in its pronoun form does not tell us what. Because if it tells us what, it gives us specifics. And once you get a specific, you eliminate all generalities. And so, therefore, to keep it general, he does not name what it is. So, whatever it is. Because if he would just say, well, brokenness is for my good, then everything else is for evil. But he said, it is. The word is there in present tense form. It is good. It is good for me. Now, may not be for you, because you're not learning nothing. Why people always say, you know, gray hair means wisdom. No, it means you get old. Because what happened, I know some folk who got gray hairs and don't have good sense. So it's not gray hair, it's when you learn from your mistakes that make you wise. And say, it is good for me that I have been afflicted. Now, what does the word afflicted mean? Before I hurry up and get out here. Afflicted means to be depressed. Afflicted means to be persecuted. Afflicted means to be downtrodden. Whew. I'm talking to anybody here. Afflictions deals simply with the mundane stuff that does not come from God. Whew. And do you know what he says? It is good for me that I have been afflicted. No. My favorite episode of Star Trek, The Next Generation, I'm a Trekkie, Next Generation, is Threads. In this episode, Captain Jean-Luc Picard of the flagship Enterprise, he goes into his mind, he says, he looks at a cut, he says, I wish I wouldn't have this cut because it leaves my body with an imperfect mark. And so Q gave him his wish and took out the mark. But when he took out the mark, his life went into reverse. And when his life went into reverse, he found himself not a captain, but a normal cadet. Why? Because it was that incident of being stabbed. The next time he got stabbed, and he said, well, if I made it through that, I can make it through this. So I won't go back. So therefore, he said, I'd rather take the stab wound and be a captain than to have no wounds and be a cadet. And some of us are mad about what we've been through. I wish I'd been born to another family. I don't know why I had to marry him. I don't know why I'm stuck with her. I don't know how I got baby-ish kids. I don't know how I can't get up. Every time I get $2 above bus fare, I find myself $5 below grocery money. I don't know what's going on with me. And so I wish I had not been born. Look at somebody and say, cut it out, cut it out, cut it out. How dare you take away what you've been through? What you have been through have made you who you are today. And some of y'all sitting there canceling out your future by getting rid of your past. You can miss destiny if you don't go through what you've been through. And so stop that whining and complaining, talking about, oh, Lord, suppose me always going through